Hey, I'm your host, Jen Wheeler, and this is the Healthy Her podcast. I'm a teacher, author, and foodie who went from being addicted to sugar, skipping meals, and struggling to get in control of my eating, to someone who is 10 kilos down, eats all the yummy foods without restriction, and is finally in control of my hunger. I'm obsessed with helping other health-conscious women ditch the confusion and overwhelm so they can cultivate healthy eating habits and truly thrive. The Healthy Her podcast was created to give you real talk about healthy eating, as well as easy, actionable tips that fit seamlessly into your busy lifestyle. I'm not just your host. Think of me as your healthy eating hype gal, your personal cheerleader as we chat all things healthy eating, weight loss, and mindset mastery, so you can become the healthiest, happiest version of you. So if you're ready to ditch the guilt, reclaim your confidence, and unlock the very best version of you, then you're in the right place. So let's get started. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Healthy Her podcast. I hope that this podcast episode finds you well and that you haven't completely crumbled with the end of year craziness and end of year burn, and that you are getting excited for the Christmas and the festive break that is just around the corner. Now, in today's episode, I want to share with you some of my top travel hacks and how you can stay on track this holiday season, and also like when you're traveling, when you're away from home. So whether that's airplane travel or a road trip or just a night away, just to give you some tips, because often when we travel or when we are away from home and we can't have that structure and routine, we often feel a bit nervous and a bit sort of stressed because we're worried that if we have been working on our weight loss and healthy eating goals, that we might undo all of our hard work, or that we might not be able to sort of stay in control of our eating choices while we are away. And it is quite simple to find balance of both, because no one wants to go away on holidays, have a really great time, and then come back and then have to start a diet the following day because they've just completely had a blowout, completely overeaten, and they feel bloated, disgusting, and gross. You want to go away, enjoy yourself, have a good time, eat mindfully, and come back and just pick up your healthy habits and your exercise routines as you normally would, without all of that stress and that overwhelm. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of my top travel tips today. And these are also going to work if you aren't traveling this festive and holiday season. These are things that you can make sure that you are doing at home. So even if you're on leave or you've got time away from work and you're at home, like still doing those things is going to make you feel better when you do eventually have to return to work after the break. Now, I've traveled on planes, international travel, road trips, and so I want to share with you the different things that I have learned that really help me. And so, like I said, it's so I don't have to come back after a trip, after some time away, after a weekend away, and just feel bloated, disgusting, and gross and not like myself. And I know that we all know what that feels like. And I promise you, you don't have to feel like that every time you have a break from your healthy eating and exercise routines. There is a way to find balance. There is a way to be able to do both. And I want to share all of those tips with you in today's episode. Now, one of the big problems that we face as women is when we are away from home on holidays, on a plane, staying somewhere like in the countryside or like a beach holiday a few hours away from home, is that we feel like we are a little bit out of control and that we don't have much of a say in what we eat and how we eat and all of those kind of things. So these travel hacks, by the end of this episode, my goal is that you're going to feel more confident. I'm going to put you back in control of your food choices. I want you to feel empowered. And I'm also going to help make you feel full, because when you're hungry, you can't make good food choices. And that is just reality. Like, even for me, I'm not superhuman. If I don't eat properly and nourish my body the right way and I feel hungry, I cannot make smart, healthy food choices. It's literally impossible. It is the hardest thing in the world to do. So all of these tips are going to keep you feeling full and feeling satisfied, which in turn is then going to make it easier for you to make better food choices when you are away from home. Now, like I said, I was that person, okay? I used to be that girl who would like restrict myself up until the time away, up until the holiday. You'd eat really well, you'd exercise perfectly. And then the second that you hit the plane, hit the airport, got in the car, it would be everything would go out the window. It's eating all of the snacks, doing all of the things. Basically just went, well, you know what? I'm on holidays, so I don't have to bother with any of my healthy habits, and I'm just going to throw it all out the window. And over time, I've learned that I had to change my mindset into this like more of a balanced approach, more of a like a do both approach, because being in that kind of a mindset and a way of thinking about, will I do everything or do nothing at all, was just getting me nowhere. And I was just stuck in this horrible cycle of eating well, not eating well, dieting, eating well, not eating well. And it just continued for years and years. So I know what it's like to just go completely YOLO on holidays and go, well, it doesn't matter. I'm on holidays. I'll fix it when I get home. And then when you get home, it's not a nice place to be in. It really, really isn't a nice place to be in. So we want to stop that, and we want you to come back from your holiday feeling calm, rested, well nourished, feeling good, but also enjoyed lots of yummy food, also had that balance, also come home feeling really good and relaxed and revived and like you've had a really, really good time. Now, the main goal when we travel, and that doesn't matter whatever your type of travel is, the main goal when we travel is balance. Okay. So we want enjoyment without you completely going crazy. Okay. So when, like I said, so when you come home, you don't feel gross and disgusting and bloated and uncomfortable in your clothes and your skin and all that. Okay. And then looking for the fastest shed fat fast program. Okay. We don't want that. So number one, your main goal when you do any type of travel, okay, whether that's this time of the year, any time of the year, your main goal when you travel is balance, because travel is supposed to be enjoyable. Okay, you're traveling to a different place. There's lots of new restaurants. There's lots of new food places to try. You're with friends often, family. So the key when you travel is balance, not eat everything or eat nothing at all. It is balance. And that is the goal from today's podcast episode. Okay, so as like I've tried a lot of things. Okay, I've tried lots of things that work, some that don't work. And it's through lots of trial and error and testing things that I'm sharing these tips with you today. And these are the things that time and time again I have found worked. They really, really helped me when I was away from home, when I was traveling at home. And like I said, it can be plane, it can be in a car, it can be a road trip, it can be like an overnight stay, whatever it is, these same things have helped me every single time. So number one is to eat a high protein breakfast. Okay. Now, if you're going, well, that's great, Jen, I don't have access to those things, I'm going to give you some tips to help you overcome that and to make it easier for you. Now, the reason that you want to eat a high protein breakfast is because the way that you start your day will set you up for success for the entire day. And I know that sounds really simple, but it is the truth. Okay, if you roll out of your hotel room with a coffee in your hand and no food, I am telling you, an hour later, you're going to be stopping for the biggest muffin that you can find, like a greasy croissant, something that, you probably don't want to have. So it is really important that you start your day, like I said, no matter where you are, and eat a high protein breakfast. It will keep you feeling full for longer. Now, the longer that you feel fuller for longer when you are on holidays and when you are traveling, the easier it will be for you to make better food choices. Like I said in the beginning of this episode, no woman can make good food choices when she's hungry. That's why that people always say, don't go food shopping when you're hungry. Like the amount of times I've gone food shopping when I'm hungry and I end up with so much crap in my trolley and like chips and new snacks and different things that I wouldn't have bought if I wasn't hungry. So when you are satisfied, when you feel full, when you are not starving, you can make better food choices for yourself and more informed food choices. You're making a choice from, okay, I know that that's what I want to eat, or that's a better choice for me, rather than I just need to eat something because I'm starving hungry and I'm going to drop dead in a second if I don't eat something. We don't want that. We want you coming from a food choice place of confidence, feeling empowered, of not being starving hungry, so you can make a good choice. And that's what that high protein breakfast will do for you. Now, there are a few simple ways that you can get around this, okay? Overnight wheat bix. Like take some overnight wheat bix. Now, like you can pre-prep these at home, okay? So you can, and then when you're away, you can just make them in like a hotel room, or if you're in a caravan or whatever it is. They're so quick and simple to make, and you can make them in seconds. Mix up your protein powder and your yogurt, put them on your wheat bix base, add some fruit, and you've got a high protein breakfast in literal seconds. Another one, especially too, if you're short with space or access to things, Greek yogurt with some protein powder mixed in, top it with some fruit, a little bit of your favorite cereal and granola, and you've got a low calorie, high protein breakfast that you can eat on the go. That's a great one. Like if you're leaving in the morning, like a road trip, okay, the Greek yogurt one is great to take. Just pop it in a container, a little esky bag, and take it with you on the road, especially true if you're leaving early in the morning, and have that for your breakfast. Same with a smoothie, like another good one. If you're heading to the airport in the morning and you've got a really early flight, whip up a protein smoothie, take it with you and sip on it while you're on your way to the airport. Really, really quick, simple way to help you get enough protein in to start your day. Another one too, again, if you've got access to none of that stuff, okay, and you're trying to get a high protein breakfast, head to the service station or the 7-Eleven and get a pre-made protein smoothie. There are so many good ones there out on the market now, lower in calories, higher in protein. Grab one of those, grab that and a piece of fruit, and you've got another option for a high protein breakfast. For me also too, I like to make the Real Nourish high protein pancake bake. I will use that and often I will take that with me, like especially too if we're staying away from home and it's a road trip and we've got like a little apartment or like a cabin or something like that and you can just pop a few things in the fridge. I will meal prep a couple of days of that and take that with me. That's a great option. So there are so many different ways that you can get high protein breakfast in, okay? So you can do your overnight wheat bix, you can do your Greek yogurt, your protein powder and your fruit, a protein smoothie, a smoothie from the Servo or the 7-Eleven, or you can meal prep some Real Nourish prep mixes and take that. Now, I want to stress too that it's about balance, okay? So if you're going, well, that's great, Jen, the whole point of traveling is so that I don't have to make anything or do anything. That is true, but having a high protein breakfast and putting a little bit of effort into doing that and making the effort to ensure that you get a high protein breakfast will set you up for success for the entire day, okay? And I'm sharing this with you from my personal experience because I know the difference, okay? And I know the difference, especially like when I've gone and traveled to places like Bali and gone on a Indonesian holiday and you have the buffet breakfast and it's all the donuts and croissants and you tend to eat that kind of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, of course, but I would literally find myself an hour later hungry. And again, initially I would go through that. What is wrong with me? You've just eaten all this food, Jen. Like, why are you still hungry? This is not right. You just need to suck it up, find some willpower, a bit of discipline. And then I discovered and learned that my protein was zero, like at breakfast time when I would eat at these smorgasbords and these buffet breakfasts when I was away in Bali. And so that's why I was starving hungry. So when I travel, especially to places like Bali, I will always take some little sachets of protein powder and keep them in my suitcase. And I will add them to like a morning smoothie at the buffet breakfast in the morning, or I'll add a little bit into my yogurt when I'm having like a fruit bowl and some yogurt for breakfast.
If you're like me and you have a busy life and you want to start your day successfully, which for me is a high protein breakfast, I love using the Real Nourish products. Their pancake bake or their crumble are my favorite. Like, no brainer. There's nothing that comes close to these products. You literally make them in minutes, and when they're cooked, they make 3 generous serves. So you eat it feeling like a queen, like you are full, your belly is satiated, and you are ready to start the day. And the last thing you're going to be doing is thinking about food for a few hours. That is for sure.
Really, really simple, easy ways. And I can't stress this enough, how much of a massive difference it made to how I felt, okay, all morning, just by eating that protein. And the thing is that that's probably the biggest issue that we have when we are traveling and away from home is that we don't eat enough protein. Okay, if you don't eat enough protein while you are away, you will feel hungry, you will snack more, you'll be picking at stuff all the time. So really, really prioritize that high protein breakfast. Okay, tip number 2 for our travel hacks when we are having a good time and being away from home, but not wanting to have a massive blowout when we come back. Number 2 is to snack smart, okay? Now, please note that I didn't say snack perfect. I said snack smart, okay? So where you can, and I'm going to say that again, where you can make smart choices, okay? Because you're not always going to be able to make smart choices, Okay, you're going to be somewhere and it might be the only dinner choice, or it might be the only option. You're on the road, you're on a road trip in the car, and the only place to eat is that particular takeaway store. Again, make good choices and smart choices. The word here is where you can. Not at every single time that you travel, just where you can. Like if there's a better choice in that moment, make that better choice, because later on that afternoon, that choice might not be there, or that dinner option might not be there the next day. So when you can, make those smart choices. So, for example, if you have pulled in to get some petrol, or the kids need to go to the toilet, or like you just need to stretch your legs and have a break, or again, you're on the plane, like things that you can take with you. So you can take a protein smoothie, okay? Take the pre-made protein smoothie. Things like cheese and crackers, pretzels, popcorn, like those squeezy tube yogurts. Try and snack smart where you can, okay? Because like I said, you'll have opportunities where you can just eat whatever and that doesn't matter. But when that opportunity, okay, is in front of you and you are at like the McDonald's, okay, and that's your choice. And you know that McDonald's does like a grilled chicken wrap, or like choose the better option, because later on you might want to pick something different. So where you can, make better choices. And when you're snacking smart too, when you eat your high protein breakfast, you will find that you will snack smarter because you're not as hungry. Like I said, if you don't eat enough protein to start your day, you're going to just be picking and snacking at all the wrong things. So make sure that you have your high protein breakfast, and that will help you with number 2, which is snack smart where you can. Travel tip number 3. And this is something that part of like this weight loss and healthy eating process that I've really enjoyed, and making this one switch has really put me back in control of my food choices and how I choose to eat. Because I know as women that so often we just feel like everything's out of our hands and we just don't get a say, and life is just busy and hard and we just don't get a choice. And doing this one little thing has really, really helped put me back in control of what I say yes to when it comes to food, what I say no to. And this is travel tip number 3. Choose what you indulge in to ditch the guilt. So I'm going to say it again. Choose what you want to indulge in and ditch the guilt. Okay. So what happens as women, as we sort of we sort of don't pre-think and pre-plan our food. And often that's what leads us down the wrong pathway. Okay. So I'll give you an example. Okay. So let's say you are on a road trip, you're staying with friends, you might be in a caravan, it might be like in some little chalets or apartments or something. And you know that you've traveled with this group of friends before, and every day at 3:00, all of the women get the wine and cheese out, the charcuterie board, the nibbles, the nuts, the cheese, the salami, all the yummy things come out at 3:00 every single day, and you do a little bit of happy hour and the kids are off happy playing. Choose to indulge in what you want to. Okay, so it's all about that forward thinking and that forward planning. So if you know at 3:00 every day that that thing is happening and you really want to have a couple of glasses of wine and enjoy some of the like cheese and crackers and snacks and things, do it. But instead of having that food stuck in front of you, shoved in front of you, and you just start eating it mindlessly, make the choice that that is what you are going to indulge in on that day. Okay, so this is where the balance part comes in. So what that means is it means that that's what you've chosen to indulge in for that day. So in the morning, have your healthy high protein breakfast. Snack smart. Make sure you've got a serve of protein at your lunch. And then in the afternoon, mindfully enjoy that 3 p.m. time and all of those snacks that you have chosen to do, because it will allow you to ditch the guilt. It just puts you in control, okay? Instead of like, and because that's a big thing that we struggle with as women, is we have food put in front of us, whether that's at work, at a friend's house, at a catch up, wherever it is, and you're like, oh, just it's there and I'll just eat it. I'll just eat it because it's there. Whereas when you decide, I know that this is coming, that's what I'm going to indulge in, and for the rest of the day, I'm going to make really good food choices. You feel so much more confident. You feel so much more empowered. And it's not, you're choosing to eat and enjoy that food because you want to. Okay, so I just gave you the 3 o'clock example at the chalets, the apartments, at the caravan park. It could be something different. It could be that you're going to this amazing restaurant at dinner time. Okay, and it's got all of these rich, delicious, creamy like pastas and things like that. Great. Choose to indulge in that. No guilt. Make the decision the night before or at the start of that day that you go, that's my thing that I'm going to indulge in for today because I'm away from home, and make a conscious effort to make healthy choices and to snack smart for the rest of the day. And then when you have that meal, it's almost like it becomes guilt-free because you're like, well, you know what? I haven't done the all or nothing. I haven't eaten everything or nothing at all. I've eaten really well for the rest of the day. I've made a conscious effort to do that. And now I'm making a conscious choice to sit here and enjoy this food mindfully, and I'm doing it without the guilt. So really start to take control of what you say yes to and what you say no to. And like I said, I know as women that that's something that we struggle with, that we just feel like, well, because the food's there or someone offers it to us, that we just have to say yes to it. No, you don't. And it's not rude. It's not impolite. I know you might feel like you are, but it's okay to just go, no, thanks, I'm okay. Or you can say something like, oh, thanks so much, but I'll have a little bit in a minute. I've just eaten something. Or like, there's lots of things that you can say to people if you genuinely don't want to eat that thing, and they'll sort of stop trying to like get you to eat it or to have it. So just make the choices because you want to. And like I said, I know as women that we feel like we just don't get a say. You do. But you have to consciously make that choice of what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to, what you're going to indulge in, what you're not going to indulge in. And again, it all comes down to personal preference. Your thing might be the cocktails at happy hour. That may be your thing. So again, choose that. Decide to indulge in cocktails at happy hour and ditch the guilt around it. Because like I mentioned at the start of this episode, traveling is all about balance, okay? It's not all or nothing. It is about balance. It is about you doing both. And that's what will allow you to have a healthy holiday, a balanced holiday, to enjoy yourself and to not come back feeling like you need to lose 5 kilos in 5 days because you've eaten way too much and you just feel bloated and not good about yourself. So choose what to indulge in and ditch the guilt. Okay, tip number 4 of our travel hacks. Where you can, again, I'm going to stress that throughout this whole podcast episode, where you can, because sometimes you just can't. And that's just the reality. You just have to go with the greasy burger or whatever because that's all that's available to you. And that's completely fine because that's what travel's about. That's what holiday's about. That's what being away from home is about. And just on that note too, go with the flow in those instances. Like if something comes up and that's literally the only choice that you can make, go with the flow. And again, go remind yourself that, okay, well, that's not the end of the world because I had to eat that here, but you know what? Tomorrow and for the next day and the next day, I can make better choices where I can. So if you're presented in that situation where that's the only choice that you have, please don't stress. It's just one meal. And remember, one meal, one something, one snack is not going to undo progress. You can't put on 5 kilos overnight. It's just not physically possible. So just go with the flow, eat that meal, and then make a better choice at your next one or on the following day. All right, number 4, build your own meals and keep it simple. Okay, so this is again where you can build your meals. Okay, so, like things like a hot cooked chicken from a supermarket or like from Red Rooster, or like a hot chicken comes with multiple different options. And again, your hot chicken is your protein. So when you're building your meals, start with your protein and add things into it, okay? So, you can have a hot chicken and add different salad mixes to it, okay? You can make Caesar salads from a hot chicken. Grab a Caesar salad mix, throw in some hot chicken, and you've got a high protein dinner. Another one too, when you're on like away from home, so on your road trip, and also to the airport and things like that, places like 7-Eleven and Coles and stuff, they often have like your basic sandwiches and they're not that bad. So like it might be like a roast chicken and salad sandwich. It might be a roast beef and salad sandwich. Those things are actually not too bad because it's usually just 2 bits of bread, some protein and some salad, which is not a bad option if you're stuck for something to eat. And that's where that keep it simple. Okay, stick with simple meals. Either build your meals or keep your meals simple. Another one is to make tacos. Like if you are in the position and you've got like a little kitchenette or something like that in your apartment or you're camping even, Make tacos. They are so easy. Lean beef mince, there's your protein. Add some grated carrot, some cheese, some lettuce. Roll it up in a tortilla, and you've got a low calorie, high protein dinner or lunch that you can throw together in seconds. Okay, a really, really great one. Barbecue is another good one. Again, start with your protein, marinate some chicken, grab some salad, throw some potatoes on the barbecue. Again, and there is another simple, high protein, low calorie, healthy meal that you can make in seconds. That's not because you're on holidays, like you are traveling, you are on this trip to get away from home and to get away from the responsibilities of cooking and all of those things. So we don't want you spending hours and doing all these fancy recipes. You just want stuff that, you're going to eat, the kid's going to eat. It's quick and easy and you can throw it together. And that's where build your own meals or just keep it simple. In my own experience, a good balance is to try and balance your eating with eating out and also making your own. Like if you are in a position to do that, in my experience, I have found that to be the best option because it kind of just gives you a bit more control. And also too, it depends on what you're doing. Like if you're staying in an apartment and you've got access to a little kitchen and things like that, it makes throwing together those barbecues or the tacos or the nachos or whatever you're making, like it makes that easier to do and accessible, obviously. But if you are like somewhere like Bali or on international travel, often you do tend to like buy all of your meals from scratch. But again, there are lots of options of where you can buy your own meal or your breakfast or whatever, and you can put something together that is relatively high protein and relatively healthy. So keep it simple, start with your protein and just work from there. And like I said, try where you can to find a balance of eating out, but also making some of your meals and your snacks and things wherever you're staying, which will make it a little bit easier. All right, number 5. And this one links back to my first travel tip. And this is to make protein a priority. As I talked about earlier, this is what I've realized is the biggest problem that we experience as women when we travel or are away from home is that we do not eat enough protein. When you don't eat enough protein, you feel hungry. You find it hard to say no to the snacks and the donuts and the chips and all the things, okay? If you eat protein and if you make eating protein a priority when you are away from home, you will find yourself in a much better place to make better food decisions for yourself. Okay, so prioritize protein while you are away from home. So a simple way to do that is to have it at your 3 main meals. Okay, breakfast, that protein smoothie, the yogurt and some protein powder. Okay, have protein at your breakfast, have protein with your lunch. So, if you're having your sandwich you go stop in a Subway, you're getting everyone's, what you're having Subway, ask for extra chicken and salad. There's your protein at your lunch, or your servo sandwich or whatever. Have your chicken in your lunch, your roast beef, whatever your protein is. Again, at dinner, prioritize protein. So that could be your lean beef mince in your tacos. That could be your marinated chicken at your barbecue. You might be out at a restaurant and you've ordered some steak or some fish and you've had it with some sides of like potatoes or salad, whatever they're serving it with at the restaurant. Prioritize protein. It is a game changer. You will just be able to sit back and what having protein at your 3 main meals when you are away from home is going to allow you to do, it's going to allow you to feel confident in your food choices. Because when something is there or you're reading a menu or someone offers you something, you will genuinely be able to say yes or no from a place of how you feel. Like instead of just like, oh yeah, I'll just have that. Or yeah, I'm not going to eat that because I'm starving. You'll know that if you are eating enough protein and something is put in front of you and you can say, yeah, no, thanks, I'm okay. It's because you feel full. And that's what the protein does. The protein will make you feel full so you can then make a choice about food so you feel confident and that you feel empowered rather than, oh, yeah, I'm just going to eat that because I'm starving, hungry, and I'm going to say yes to everything. So make protein a priority when you are away from home and when you are traveling. And that, like I said, that can be domestic travel, that can be international travel, that can be, like I said, the road trip, even an overnight stay, like a hotel stay, whatever your thing is, wherever you're going, camping, caravanning, whatever it is, still make protein a priority at your 3 main meals. I feel like I've just spammed you today with so many different ideas of like how you can eat better and look after yourself when you are away from home. I hope that you found those tips and things today really, really helpful. And like I said, these are like just the top things that genuinely make a difference. And they might sound really simple, but I promise you they work. I promise you that they will make you feel confident and empowered, and that you'll be able to confidently say yes to what you want to eat and no to what you want to eat. You'll be able to indulge in the things that you want to indulge in while you're away, and you will come back and you will feel good. You'll feel rested. You won't feel bloated. You won't feel guilty because you've indulged in things that you enjoy, and you will feel calm and relaxed, and you'll just be able to literally just pick up your healthy habits that you're in the routine in that you had before you left, and you'll just easily be able to pick them up again without having to do any drastic dieting or going on any restrictive diets or skipping meals and all those kind of things, because no one wants that, and it is the worst place to be in. If you are traveling, have the most amazing time over the festive break. And like I said, keep these little tips in mind because they will really, really help. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you all in our next episode of the Healthy Her podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in to another empowering episode of the Healthy Her podcast. If you enjoyed today's chat and found it helpful, hitting that follow or subscribe button would be amazing because your support means the world to me. Come connect with me on Instagram @theactivebod for your daily dose of inspiration and for loads of new easy meal ideas. Take care and keep thriving. See you next week.